Do you ever have the sense that your meds just aren't working quite as well as they used to be? There are a lot of factors that can influence this. If you want to find out more about this, stay tuned. Hi, this is GH Glade for Everyday ADD Coaching. It used to be thought that these medications were very static and they really didn't change a whole lot in terms of how people reacted to them. And that, the med would continue to act in the same way it did right at the beginning. But as time moves on, but as we find out more, we notice that there are a lot of things that can cause your medication to just not be as effective as it once was. There are several reasons why a medication may no longer be as effective. And this can be things like physical changes, such as child development. The dose that your child may have been on as a young child at, say, 75 pounds may be far different from the dose that they're on if they grow up to adult size and they're suddenly 180 or more pounds. The other thing that can really impact how medications work, if you have new or worsening symptoms that mimic ADD and are actually caused by something else. There are things like depression and head injury and physical illness that can all cause worsening symptoms that really mimic the ADD profile of symptoms. One of the examples that causes people's perception of less efficacy with medications is increased demand. ADD has a very contextual component. The more plates you're spinning in the air, the wider the floorboards come apart. Now, sleep is a favorite topic of mine. Less sleep is a bad thing, and sleep is one of the most important components in good brain function. But it's not just the number of hours, it's the quality of sleep. And many things can disrupt that quality of sleep. There's a whole nother category of things that can change how medications work. Metabolism changes. If somebody has a very high rate of metabolism, and some people are classified as rapid and ultra rapid metabolizers, at baseline they may need higher doses of medications. There are a whole bunch of different factors that can change metabolism. Things like liver disease and heart failure all change how we process medications. New drugs often have interactions with existing medications. So the takeaway from this is always tell your providers when you start a new medications. And this goes for not only the ADD medications, but pretty much all medications. I frequently will ask for a medication list, or at my follow-ups I say, hey, were you started on any new medications? There's always that possibility of interactions. And treating a number of older adults, if you have 6 or more medications, the odds of interactions for those medications go up to about 90%. So more just adds complexity to the whole picture. Let's take an aside. I'm going to ask you a favor. I'm going to ask you to pass this along to other people who might benefit from this. And also, while you're at it, thump that like button. So let's go on to other flare-ups, like things from inflammatory bowel disease or Crohn's disease. Often present big challenges because these are typically intermittent things. And you can have a period of time where if you're having a flare-up, well, your meds just aren't going to work quite as well. Oftentimes, IBS and Crohn's will influence things like GI transport time. Long GI transport time and short GI transport time both affect our ability to metabolize medications. And these present some really unique challenges for people with these two diseases. The other aspect to toleration is flat out getting used to it and habituating to the dose. Now, there are some things you can do. First of all, talk to your provider. Let them know that, gee, it's just not working quite as well. Oftentimes, this may be a problem with the generic medication. Generic medications can vary by as much as 20%, and toleration issues are there as well. We find that the dyes and binders affect some people negatively. As a takeaway, I want to suggest that you track what generic medication that you're taking. And if the pill looks different, then you're on a different generic in all probability. And if it's working less well, that's an issue for you to take up with your provider. There is also a mechanism for providers to report, frankly, what are bad medications. And medications coming from some foreign countries have been notably bad. The two big offenders are India and China. And it's not to say that medications from these companies are automatically going to be bad, but some of the really negative ones have come out of manufacturers from these countries. And the problem is, often in these countries, they don't have good inspection or quality control. Say your medication just isn't changing as a result of this, and it appears to be just a matter of you just beginning to develop tolerance. There are medications within the same class, and this is, again, a topic for discussion with your provider. Sometimes changing the molecule a little bit has good effects in terms of having those medications become more effective once again. I have some clients who we kind of joke that a medication will work for a series of months and then it won't, and will change, and sometimes we'll circle back to an original set of medications because some time away from it allows you to diminish those toleration effects. Again, I hope this has been helpful. I really would like you to pass this along because this is an issue that affects everyone who takes medication. And again, hit the like button, thump that like button, because it does help with this crazy YouTube algorithm. Until next time, this is G.H. Glade for Everyday ADD Coaching.